influence in the church, but success gives you greater influence in the marketplace. And make no mistake about it, the marketplace is the primary concern for the expansion of the kingdom. Welcome to 83K Nation. Dr. Keith Johnson here, your Christian success strategist. This show is all about empowering you with the strategies, skills, tactics, and tools to help you reach your next personal, professional, and financial summits to increase your influence, impact, and income fast.
I thought I lacked the ability to speak. I thought I lacked the ability to earn money. I lacked knowledge of my true potential. I didn't fully understand the God in me. If I don't have the right identity, the right self-image, not only can I not help myself, but I can't help anybody else. I'm just telling you that as you launch out, that there is more in you than what you even realize. And you've underestimated what is possible for you. When I understood this little concept, I'll never forget in my mother-in-law's house, writing down on a piece of paper, I want to speak to 1 million people. I started to talk about it. People said, you're crazy. I wish I wouldn't have underestimated my potential for 10 years and running into brick walls. It was all about my belief system, what I believed, not about God, but what I believed about myself that was stopping me. Today, I'm going to be talking about the 3 big mistakes I made on the come up. Yep. You know, everybody, as we look at the natural progress of life, we all start on the bottom. We all start on the bottom, and it's an uphill climb. That's why I always talk about mountains, and that our dreams, the things we want to achieve in life, the things we want out of life, it's always like a mountain, right? There's a flag on top of the mountain, and the mountain climber starts off not on the top. I mean, some people today are a bit delusional, especially young people. They think that, you know, that we all just start at the top, and the young people want what we have that we've worked many years for. But that's not the way it works. The way it works is life is all about progress, where we start where we are and we work our way toward the dream, toward the goal of achievement. And we must all remember that God called us to aim at something. That's why God put 2 eyes in front of our face. He didn't put eyes on the side of our face. He didn't put eyes on the back of our head to look backwards. The Creator designed us in such a way that the only way we achieve fulfillment in life is by looking forward, having an aim, having a goal, and moving toward that God-given desire and goal that God's placed inside of your heart. That's the only way. And it's not the achievement of your dream that brings the joy. It's the pursuit. The goal's not about big cars, lots of money, and even necessarily making a difference in a lot of people's lives. Really, the big goal is all about you becoming the person that's necessary to achieve the goals that you desire in your heart. On my come up, 2002, when I lost everything, to where I am today, building a brand that literally went all over the world, 40 different countries, got published by Penguin Books, the largest book publisher literally in the world. Clients that pay me $120,000 a year to coach them, consult them. That's where I'm at today. But on the come up, I made a lot of mistakes. And I'm going to share three big ones that I think will really help you. When I look back, I mean, I could list 100. It was really difficult. I'm like, man, these people don't have these people don't have time to listen to 100 of my mistakes. But I thought I got to narrow all of these down to what are the three big ones? And before I get into those three, I think in a lot of ways, I spent a lot of time underestimating my own potential. I think when I really look back, if I have any regrets to my younger self, if I could go back and talk to him, I would say, Keith, you have way more potential than what you even think you have. And you're underestimating it. And because you're underestimating it, your aim isn't right. I think that was, if I could say, throughout my course of my life, if I could say something to my young self, that's what I would talk about. That's what I would speak to him about. What is potential? Potential is not who you are right now, but who you could become. Potential is not what you're doing right now. It's what you could be doing. Potential is not what you have right now. It's what you could have. The amount of money you're making, the cars, the house, the boats, the lifestyle. It's not where you're at. That's not your potential. Your potential is not necessarily just what you have. It's how many people you could help. See, you can't help unless you have. That's where a lot of spiritual people get all wackadoodle. They don't want to have nothing, or they're afraid of becoming rich and prosperous, and they attack prosperity, attack being rich. But they cry out, I just want to help a lot of people. How can you help people? The poor can't help the poor. The middle class can't help the middle class. You're middle class, you're living paycheck to paycheck. How can you help, really seriously help anybody else? And I often say middle class is the most selfish people group on the planet. Why? Because you're only thinking about your survival. You're really not. I know you think you are, but you're really not thinking about anybody else. I get around middle class people and just listen to them talk. And it's not talk about, hey, how are you doing? How can I help you? How can I serve you? It's not about that. It's about their problems and what's going on in their life. Listen, I've been around some of them. They don't even ask you how you're doing. It's like, wow. I just spent 2 hours of my life around this person, and they never asked once how I was doing. Isn't that interesting? So it's only when you move into wealth and you have something, do you start saying, how, all right, it's not about me just putting food on the table, paying my car payments, paying my house payments, going to work from 6 days a week, 9 to 5. It's just not about me surviving. Now can I only enter into a place where it's about others? And I know you think you could do it without it, but listen, the proof is really in the pudding. The proof is really in the pudding. And so I spent a lot of my time with a middle-class mindset, with a poverty mindset, a lack mindset about myself. I thought I lacked the ability to speak. I thought I lacked the ability to earn money, multiply money. I lacked a mindset of abundance. There was lack all around me. I lacked the relationships that I needed. I lacked the information I needed. There was lack all around me. That's why I have lack in my life. I lacked knowledge of my true potential. I didn't fully understand the God in me. The God in me. Wow. The Christ in me. I didn't understand that concept. That everything God is, I am. Jesus prayed a prayer, oh God, that they would see that I am in you and you are in me and we are one. Whew. Oh man. Oh man, that means everything God is, you are. You have God's divine nature inside of you. God is love, you're love. God is powerful, you are powerful. God is rich, you are rich. God is smart, you are smart. Man, come on. Wow, when I started to realize this basic understanding, I thought, whoa, wait a minute. God has more than enough, but I kept telling myself I didn't have enough. I didn't have enough abilities. I didn't have enough this. I didn't have enough that. God is more than enough. Wait a minute, that means I'm more than enough. God is strong. I am strong. All of a sudden, when I started looking at all this, I started to realize, wow, I have all these wrong mindsets about who I am, about what I can be, what I can do, what I can have, who I can help. And if I don't have a right understanding, if I don't have the right identity, the right self-image, not only can I not help myself, but I can't help anybody else. I realized this in 2002 when I was down at the bottom of the barrel. And I realized I have underestimated my potential. I looked at everybody else, the John Maxwells, the Joyce Myers, the T.D. Jakes, all these big people. And I thought, wow, I could never be that. And guess what? According to your faith, so be it. I was living according to the faith that I was walking in, which was none. I'm just telling you that as you launch out and you start this new year, that there is more in you than what you even realize. And you've underestimated what is possible for you. That you can be an author, speaker, coach, consultant, making a difference in people's lives. When I understood this little concept, I'll never forget in my mother-in-law's house, writing down on a piece of paper, I want to speak to 1 million people in my lifetime. And I remember I started to talk about it. People said, you're crazy. You're crazy. How are you going to speak to 1 million people? That ain't going to have blah, 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 blah. I love what one guy said. In life, you got to ignore the barking dogs. The dog, once you set a goal, once you set a target, the dogs are going to start barking. But when I look back, I said, wow, I wish I wouldn't have underestimated my potential for 10 years, the first 10 years of me being an author, speaker, coach, trying to make a difference in other people's lives and running into brick walls. It was all about my belief system, what I believed, not about God, but what I believed about myself. that was stopping me. Now, when you don't know what's wrong, you kind of look at other things and you blame a lot of things. I spent my time blaming God, questioning God, God, why? I spent enough time blaming the devil. The devil, I'm so powerful. The devil's after me. I spent time blaming the economy. I spent time blaming the way I looked. I spent time blaming my geographical location. I spent time blaming the way I was raised. I spent time blaming the president, blaming the economy. I blamed everybody else for why I wasn't where I should be, except for the man in the mirror. It's the only person I didn't blame. The day my life changed was the day I said, wait a minute, if this is true, where the scripture says it's Christ in me, the hope of glory. And I started to say, wait a minute, because I was raised in amongst a group of people that kind of gave you the feeling like when God came inside you, like you only got a percentage of God. Like you had to keep begging for more. You had to get more of God. And so you had to go to church and keep trying to like a little bird, right, in a nest that is desperate for a worm from its mother, going, oh God, oh, give me a worm, give me a worm, give me a worm, give me a worm. Oh God, fill me with some more. Fill me, I need more of you. You don't need more of God. You already got 100% of God Almighty living on the inside of you. You already got it. What? How can a beggar ever be confident? A beggar's not confident. You don't have to beg. He's already in you. The issue is no longer God being in you and getting more of God. The issue now is, how can you get God out of you? That's the big problem God has in the earth. You believing in the God in you that has the ability to do some really big things with your life. That, wow, because I got a big God in me, I have a desire to make a difference in people's lives, to speak, coach, consult, train, write great books, to get my message out there. And that belief empowers you to take action, to get the learning, to get the training, to get the understanding, to sharpen your axe. But if you don't believe in yourself and you limit your potential, you end up not fulfilling your God-given assignment here on earth. I'm here in your life as a coach to get you to unleash your greatness and get you to a place where you don't just believe in God, that you start believing in yourself. God's not desperate, and he's not up there saying, oh, I need you to believe in me. Please, please, please believe in me. Oh, man, what an insecure God he must be if that's the case. God doesn't need you to believe in him. What God needs is he wants to do some things in the earth, and he needs you to believe in yourself and step out of the boat and go for it. So when I think of the mistakes I made, is number one is, hands down, I didn't believe in my own potential. That's like the intro. Now let me give you the 3 M's. 3 mistakes, 3 M's. Mistake number 1, mentor. Mentor. Up to 2002, I did not have a mentor. I didn't have anybody to help me. And yet the Bible tells us in the book of Proverbs, chapter 1, verse 5, it tells us that a wise man will listen. A wise man will listen. If I'm wise, I need to listen to somebody. So I need somebody to speak into my life who has been there and done that to where I want to go, who has the current relevant information that I need to get me to where I want to go. Now, the foolish man doesn't listen. The foolish man thinks he can do it all by himself. That's the fool. Because Proverbs 1:5 says, a wise man will listen and he will obtain wise counsel. He will get a mentor. He will get a coach. And that's a pursuit word. Like, you got to pursue it. I'm amazed at how many people don't pursue mentorship. Some people just think, oh, they hear my story of how God sent how I've connected with mentors. Some of the most well-known leaders in the world. And they say, oh man, I wish that would happen to me. I'm praying that'll happen to me. You got to pursue them. How did you do it, Keith? I bought their products. I joined their coaching programs. I got education. I got their training. I got around them, and proximity is power. It's a pursuit. Not God magically just one day he shows up on my front door, knocks on my door, and all of a sudden there's a multimillionaire on my front door. That's not how it happened. But for a long time, I did it alone. I thought I could figure it out. But failure has a way of humbling the soul. That's right, doesn't it? Well, man, when I failed, I was like, man, I need help. And that's when I reached towards Bob Beal to help me, to find my one word, to learn how to build not just my speaking business, but my consulting business and my coaching business. And how to get really crystal clear of my life. You can't get clear by yourself. You got to have other people, other voices. So the first mistake I made early on the come up, I was working really hard for 10 years on the come up. And then I got stuck. And I realized the mistake. And that's when I said, okay, I'm gonna pursue the best mentors that I can connect with. This is why we have 83K Academy, because I remember my early journey of, I didn't have a lot of money. And it was really hard and difficult to be able to connect with successful men unless you had money. And I remember early on telling myself, when I get big, when I become super successful, when I become a millionaire, I'm going to help people who are at the bottom of the mountain. That's why I do what I do. That's why I create 83K Academy. So that ordinary people, if they have any kind of desire to be an author, speaker, coach, that they don't have to be out there all by themselves trying to figure it out and have to go through the pain that I went through. Because we either learn by mistakes or we learn through mentorship. Mentorship, what is mentorship? Mentorship is learning at the expense of somebody else. Somebody else had to pay a tremendous price to learn by mistakes, and I don't want to have to pay that price. That could wipe me out. It could finish me. Mentorship is speed learning. Mentorship is quantum leaping. It's not what you keep getting taught in church all the time. It's all this long process. It's going to take you 40 years. It's going to take a long time. No, mentorship is accelerated learning to bring change quicker and to bring the blueprints you need to succeed faster. I know we love these books, Failing Forward, but if you keep failing and failing and failing and failing and you never move forward, eventually you're going to quit and give up. Mentorship takes that factor out of the way. It brings you successes quicker. And the quicker that you can get some successes under your belt, there's a less of a chance that you'll quit. If that makes sense, post yes down below. Does that make sense to you? Sure it does. One of the key things that my mentor taught me early on was, Keith, 1 is a losing number. He said, how many streams of income do you have? I said, 1. He said, what is that? I said, well, when I go speak, people give me offerings. They take up offerings. He said, 1's a losing number. What do you mean? He said, well, 1 times $50,000 is how much, Keith? I said, 50,000. He said, 1 times 100,000 is how much, Keith? I said, 100,000. He said, 1 times a million is how much, Keith? I said, 1,000,000. He said, 1's a losing number. He says, you only have one way of making money. So you're restricting God to only one way. See, some of you, you only have one way, and that's your job. You only have one way, that's Social Security. What happens if that gets taken away from you? Now you're in a crisis. My mentor taught me, say, have additional streams of income. I was like, wow. That's when he said, Keith, not only I know you love speaking, but you also need to build a business, a coaching business, a consulting business. You need to create curriculum and write training material. Your speaking business requires you to be in front of somebody. It requires you. You can't make money at nighttime speaking in front of people. But people can buy your products online. People can go through your coaching programs and training programs while you sleep, and you're still making money. I'm like, wow. So some speakers don't want to write. Some writers don't want to speak. Some speakers and writers don't want to consult and coach. And they trap themselves into one source of income. That's a big mistake. That's a mistake I made. My mentor taught me to think different. That's where it brings into the second thing, a map. See, what my mentor was bringing me was a blueprint. He was bringing me a map to multiplying my income. Because as long as I just kept speaking, I was only going to bring in $50,000 a year. And I needed to be bringing in several hundred thousands, $1 million a year. But with just one source, I was stuck. And my coach brought me a map, a massive action plan. There's an old saying that says, if you're going to go into the woods, go in with a map first. Wow. When I was young and on fire and full of energy, my testosterone was over the top. I would say, let's charge this woods and get to the other side because that's the promised land. And I would charge the woods with no map. And guess what you do when you do that? In that woods, there's bears, there's lions, there's wildebeest, there's elephants. There's deadly snakes. There's deadly spiders. There's trees in the way, branches in the way, rocks in the way that could kill you, that could definitely set you off course, stop you in your tracks. But if you have a map on how to navigate and how to get around the things that are guaranteed to get in your way, to stop you, to keep you from hitting your head on some tree limbs, it's best to have a map so you can get to the other side. Everybody understands it. A map, M-A-P, a massive action plan.
Are you an aspiring Christian author, speaker, or coach? Then I've got something just for you. I'm opening up a few spaces in my private mentoring program, 83K Academy. In less than 6 weeks, I will take you through a step-by-step process to launch your expert business completely from scratch. You will get a brain dump of my 25 years in this business, from launching a multi-million-dollar brand, writing a bestseller, traveling the globe as a paid speaker, and even consulting billionaire entrepreneurs and CEOs. This is truly an opportunity of a lifetime to have me personally mentor you to discover your one word as we build your multi-million-dollar expert business together. To apply for one of the few remaining spots in the program, head over to 83kacademy.com and submit your application to qualify now. Godspeed, my friend.
When I talk to a lot of people, so oh, they have big New Year's resolutions and they have big dreams. The church doesn't lack dreamers. The church lacks planners. I stand up with 2,000 people, say, how many of you have a dream? Everybody raises their hand. I says, okay, please bring me up your maps. Bring me up your plan, your massive action plan. And guess what? Nobody has one. Even the pastor of the church doesn't have one. It's like, oh, Lord. Yet we've heard the saying and we all agree, if you fail to plan, you plan to fail. I haven't heard a single person argue that. But nobody plans. I was there. I had no strategic plan. Planning is a skill that has to be learned. We do that in 83K Academy. We help you not just get the mentoring you need, but we also help you with a plan. I just met last week with one of our last classes. And before they left, I gave them a 12-step. What to do now? What are your next 12 steps you need to do right now? Bam, 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 bam. And we talk about a map is a massive action plan. And there's different levels. There's like taking action, and then there's massive action, where it's beyond the ordinary. It's not what the ordinary person does. So I didn't have a mentor back then. Got a mentor. Helped me get clear on my one word. Helped me develop the thought process, the mindset that I needed for thinking in multiple streams of income. Then I got my map, my how-to. How was I going to do this? With my action plan. And the third mistake, and this mistake here, almost every entrepreneur makes this that I know of. So we got mentor, map, and then the next M is mistakes. Now let me explain this. What I find is the number one mistake entrepreneurs make is that they're afraid to make mistakes. It's what it's like. Yeah. So when opportunities come, especially in the Christian market, spiritual people, an opportunity will come. And a person that doesn't know God will just say, wow, that's an opportunity. You know, even a halfway, well, there's an opportunity, Buford. Wow. We better take this there opportunity. This is gold. A guy that doesn't know God will see it, take the opportunity. A Christian, oh, a whole nother story. Yeah, the Christian that gets out and shouts on Sunday morning, all things are possible. The one that hears the sermon how Peter stepped out of the boat and walked on the water with God. Oh yeah, amen. Yeah, that Christian. After Sunday mornings, they're roaring like a lion. Whoa! And on Monday morning, they act like they're a lion with their teeth knocked out. No roar. Why? Because they're afraid. They're afraid to make mistakes. So out of a fear to make mistakes, the mind naturally goes when opportunity goes. When an opportunity comes, the mind naturally, because the mind is protective. This is huge when you realize this. Your mind is like your mother. Your mother doesn't want you to take any risk. Your mother's like, don't jump off that table. You're going to hurt yourself. No. You're going to break your neck. Don't swing too high on that swing set. You're going to flip over. Your mind is like your mother. It's overly concerned. Did you brush your teeth? Did you take a shower today? It's the... Oh, man. That's your mind, not your spirit. Your spirit is where imagination dwells, faith dwells, unlimited possibilities dwell. All things are possible. That's out of your spirit, not your mind. That's why the Bible says the mind of man is at enmity against God. Here's your problem. So an opportunity comes, the mind, the mother, is going to try to find a way to justify you not taking action. So the mind's going to say, oh, let's find a way. Oh, well, so if you're spiritual, it looks for spiritual reasons. Oh, well, you know, I got to pray about this. Come on. If you know it's true, come on, post out. I'm going to pray about this. It's funny, every time I've offered an opportunity and someone said, I'm going to pray about it, they never come back. Because you know what they're really doing? They're not praying about it. Come on, if you're honest with yourself, you ain't praying about it. That's your mind trying to find a reason why not to take a risk. Because you're afraid to make a mistake. Well, if it's not pray about it, if you're not spiritual, it's like, I'm gonna think about it. I'm gonna think about it. Or I'm gonna just wait for right now, and I'm just gonna kind of sit back and watch and kind of see, and maybe I'll do this next year. And guess what happens? Next year comes, next year, and it's 5 years now. I've seen this with people who have great potential to be authors, speakers, coaches, and I see this great potential. And I look back, I'm like, I was talking to you in 2020, and now it's 2024, and you're still thinking about it. You're still praying about it. I know God wants me to, and I just got to find the time. And then I got to get ready. That's the other one. Ooh, I got to get ready. I'm not quite ready yet. Wow, well, it's been 4 years. How long is it going to take? Dear God. So being afraid to make mistakes causes you to do the second biggest thing that kills entrepreneurs. You don't do anything. That's my point here. You end up not doing a single cotton picking thing. And when you do nothing, guess what happens? Nothing. And now you sit here with inflation going over the top. You should have been doing this 5 to 10 years ago. You're still praying. You're still waiting. And now you've lost 5 years. Now, the good news is learning can accelerate you, get you back on track, but you're like Jonah. You keep running from the call. I call it the Jonah syndrome. God's speaking to your potential. Go change Nineveh. And you want to go the opposite direction because you don't believe in yourself. You're going to see life change this year. I'm out here on the Gulf of Mexico, and everybody's got a boat. The one thing about it is the boat that's setting on the dock cannot be directed. Will never reach its destination. It'll never get to Paradise Island. My boat will never get to Paradise Island setting on my dock. You have to get in the boat and you have to make a decision. I'm going to leave the security of the dock and take a risk and see if I can make it to Paradise Island. This is called faith, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, I know a couple that they do a fearless conference. I'm like, a fearless conference. Any billionaire that I've ever talked to will tell you I live with fear every day. Why? Because they're heading to paradise. They got this big dream. They're taking big risk. There is no achievement without fear sitting on your right-hand shoulder. Your knees talking to one another. I don't know if I'm going to make it. I don't know I don't know if I'm going to get to this. Oh, here comes another wave. Look out. Here comes another wave. Am I going to get there? And you keep driving forward against the storms and the waves of life. And you keep moving and you keep moving and you keep moving. So most people get stuck in excuses. I was there. Excuses are the nails that build the house of failure. So there's my 3 mistakes. Number 1, I didn't really believe in my own potential. Number 2, I didn't have a mentor. I was doing it alone. I didn't reach. I had opportunities, mentors came by my way, but I didn't reach. I was hoping, praying that somehow they would find my phone number and call me. How dumb. I didn't have a map. And number 4, I was afraid to make a mistake. So I never took action. These 4 M's kept me from one thing that's going to change your life this year. Massive action. Massive action. And I'm not talking about normal. You've been taking normal. You've been living in normal action. Normal action creates normal, mediocre, average lives. And average is a losing number. Just like 1's a losing number, average is a losing number. So listen, we have the doors open. Many of you have been following me, you've been listening, and I want to say this to you. Of all the things you could do this year, like you got to find something to multiply your money. You've got to find a business to build. And if you have a passion to speak, train, coach, write books, do these kind of things where you're helping other people, you're never going to be satisfied with the options that are out there. Oh, go drive Uber, go drive, go work for your local school driving buses with snotty-nosed kids spitting spitballs in the back of your head the whole day and being rude. Like what business do you need to look into? Well, the first thing is you want to look into a business that has the highest profits. And the information business offers the highest profit margins on the planet. 78% profit margins. I mean, it's amazing. That's why in 83K Academy, we help thought leaders, authors, speakers, coaches, and consultants do 6 important things. Number 1, we help you discover your one word, as we talked about all week long. You got to find that one word, and then you got to have mastery over it. You got to know more than anybody else on the planet. And I give you the formula to be able to do that in my 83K Academy. Number 2, you got to build a brand around it. Not a website, not a funnel, not a business card. You need to learn how to build a brand. I built a brand around America's #1 confidence coach. Number 3, you got to understand how to market to get known. We're going to help you market so that you will get known. Now you're not known. That's okay. But we're going to train you how to market to get known. 4, we're going to help you monetize your message. It's not enough just to have a message. We're going to help you monetize that message. Number 5, we're going to help you set goals to earn $83,000 a month. That's the big flag on top of the mountain. 83,000 times 12 is $1 million a year. Number 6, help you make money. Number 6, we're going to help you make a bigger difference. Here's how we're going to do that. 6 weeks. That's what 83K Academy is all about. It's a mentoring experience where I take you through 4 of my main courses. Life Coaching Certification Academy, where we're going to make you a certified life coach, leadership coach, church growth coach, business coach through Destiny College International. You're going to be a certified. This helps build your credibility, having the certifications. Then we're going to take you through my high ticket consultant, how to command higher consulting fees and get higher quality clients, even if no one knows your name yet. You don't have to be a big name to be a high ticket consultant. And we teach you how to create the blueprint on creating your own consulting program so that you can make these $25,000, $50,000, $100,000 programs that people will buy. Then we're going to move you into my Write Your Way to Millions program on how to become a best-selling author. We're going to give you the blueprints of exactly how to write your book. It's plug and play. So we take the heart out of writing a book. I even have a blueprint how to write a book in 7 days. 7 days, not 1 hour a day, but 7 full days. How to write a book in 7 days. 7 days or 7 months. You make your pick. Then Speak for a Change, how to become a world-class communicator. I teach you how to take the message and create a signature talk that goes global, that gets doors open for you, places to speak, whether it's podcasts, whether it's on big stages or at churches or for businesses. A lot of Christians don't realize, man, there's so many businesses out there that are looking for speakers. And so you go through these 4 classes in 6 weeks. You'll get a video a day. It only takes an hour of your time a day. And you'll go through all of this training. And on Saturdays, you'll meet with me every Saturday at 8 o'clock in the morning. And I'll answer your questions. I'll coach you through the process. We take only a handful of people every quarter, and the doors are open right now. And here's how you apply. 83kacademy.com/apply now. Here's the scan me code. My team is looking at applications. We've had applications coming in all week. You answer a few questions, and then we connect you with one of our coaches to talk with you to see if this is for you. Because we want it to work out good for you and for us. Okay? There is the opportunity that's available. Now the question is, are you going to continue to make the same mistakes I made in my life? Not having a mentor, not having a map, not taking action because you're afraid of making a mistake. Or the worst one is having that internal belief that you can't do it. I showed you this week how James Mansky, a landscaper, he set a goal for 83,000 extra in a year. He made over 100,000 in addition to his landscaping company. I shown you how a police officer down at Dunkin' Donuts, how he was able to turn that all around, write a book, and not only make $4,000 to $6,000 extra a month, but also how he was able to become chief of police, the manager of the city. Now he's writing another new book. These are common, ordinary people. A real estate agent that was frustrated selling houses, but she wanted to teach, train, coach. Made $1.2 million in her first year. all by going through 83K Academy and getting the training. Hey, it's great to see. I didn't see her come on earlier. It's great to see Janine from South Africa. Janine, how you doing over there?
Hi, Dr. J. Hello, everybody. I'm doing great. Your message today was over the top. It made me realize when you go through 83K Academy, first of all, you get personal mentorship from you. So there you can tick off point number one. You've got a mentor. You get a map. So to it will help you to take the massive action so you can get a plan for your life. And then thirdly, you remove the fear that try to block your mind because you give us all the tools that we need to go forward and to become a success. So 83K Academy is an amazing program that's going to help you discover your one word. You get the mentorship that you need. It's going to help you to take the massive action so that you can move forward and so that you can become a success because we give you all the tools that you need. So you're not going to be alone. There's a close community that's going to support you, that's going to help you. So all of the fear factors are removed. So I encourage all of you, click on the link below in the comments. You will find it there, www.83kacademy.com/apply now, and your life will be transformed forever. Thank you, Dr. J.
Wow, that was a powerful statement. Remove the fear that blocks the mind and keeps you from taking action. 83K Academy removes the fear. Wow. Fear is the number one enemy to potential. What was some of the fears that that you had to overcome, Janine, when you prior to it? I mean, now people don't realize they see you. I mean, like right there, you just communicated with confidence, spoke directly to the camera, said something powerful. And I've been a thought leader for a lot of years, and you said one statement that raised my eyebrow. What what are some of the fears that you had to press through? Because you didn't start off like this.
Oh no, my biggest fear was appearing in front of a camera because I was afraid. There was no confidence in me, so I could never look up in the camera. Past, I used to look down and I mumbled because I was unsure to what to say because I thought I'm gonna make a fool out of myself. So I thought it was safer rather to keep quiet than say something. But through 83K Academy, I've gained confidence because I've received all the tools that I need to look up in the camera, to overcome that fear. And in my second obstacle that I had to face was finances. Where am I going to find finance to pursue my dream? Because I thought it was impossible. I thought I wasn't important enough to invest in myself so that I can become a better person, not just in the world, but in myself. So I had to overcome that negativity about money. I had to really go and study what is finances, and it's not a sin to become wealthy or to have resources, because you need resources in any area of your life to get ahead. So the moment I've removed that obstacle and I've just pushed through, I had to use faith as well to gain the finances. But the most important part was I had to take the action step. And the first action step I had to take, and it was a fearful thing for me, I had to fill in the application form. And in the first time round, I was even rejected. I wasn't accepted in the program, but that did not stop me, because inside of me, I had something that was screaming and said, I need to do this. I need to get out of this mold of fear, or out of this mold of wrong beliefs. And what I've done, I've studied for a year to grow in a person. And then I took the courage again. So I really want to be part of this program. So I reapplied. And in the second time around, I was accepted, and it really changed my life. And in the third thing, that might have been a block in the past. I would have a goal, but I've never written it down. It was always just I've put it out there in the in the air, and but the moment I've penned it down and I've started writing my dreams down, and that's where something changed inside of me, and I realized now I can go back to the written plan, and I can tick off as soon as I've reached that goal. And that gave me courage. And it's the first time I understand when you write something down, that is part of the action that you need to take, because you can always go back and say, okay, I need to do this X, Y, and Z to get to the results that I'm after. And that is what changed my life, to put to take the action, to take that massive action to get massive results at the end.
Wow, I love that. I love that. That is so cool. So proud of you. And that's some great, great, great points. So what I'm hearing all of that about all that is fear. Fear. Fear is what stops authors, speakers, coaches, consultants from really making a difference and making a fortune. And what has to happen, it's like that old saying, right? When the student is ready, the teacher will appear. And you need a teacher to get you in the right mindset. How can you help other people change their life if you don't have a right mindset yourself? And what I see with so many coaches and how I've helped so many of them is break financial limitations in their own head, especially in the Christian market, because so many of them, you've been immersed into a church environment, not a business environment. You've been immersed in a church environment where everything is free, where everything is offerings, 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 offerings is the path, right? I mean, if we're honest, in the church, the message is offerings are the path to wealth. And yeah, we believe in giving. We believe in generosity, 1,000% on this side. We've practiced it all our whole life. But now you get over in the business sector, right? And you understand it's not about offerings. It's about value. And are you bringing massive value by solving other people's problems? And when you solve problems, they exchange money and give you money and want to pay you money. But if you think like a church person, free, 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 cheap, 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 if you think that way in the church, they'll love you. It's like that. Remember that movie? Hercules, Hercules, Hercules. Oh, you're our hero. You are cheap and you are free. Oh, that's so nice of you, Pastor Tim. Thank you for giving us a free Bible. We're so thank you. Thank you. We're in the marketplace. If you say free Bible, they don't want it. If you say this Bible is $1,000, they want it. Wow, $1,000 for a Bible? Yeah, this is a success manual right here. Woo! Totally different mindset. Totally different mindset. Church, marketplace. And yet Christians try to go into the marketplace with the church mentality. And they lose, and they lose, and they lose, and stay broke. And that's part of 83K Academy. It's like getting you in the right mindset, breaking these religious, it's really a religious stronghold of poverty is what it is. Because whenever something's free, you're all into scarcity. It's scarcity mentality instead of over in the abundant mentality. So a lot of Christians are bound by the spirit of poverty. And they don't even know it. Pastors of churches are bound. So the bound can't set anybody free because they're bound themselves. Now, they don't think they are. Oh, no, they don't think they are. But the truth of the matter is they carry the same spirit. Love God. You can love God with all your heart and still have, that's why we're casting down strongholds. What are strongholds? Mindsets that are resistant to change. Mindsets that are resistant to change. So we got to destroy those strongholds. And that's why you, as an author, speaker, coach, God wants to use you to destroy the mindsets that are keeping people from transformation and change in their life. I hope you've enjoyed this. Wow, 7 days. 7 days of the One Word Boot Camp coming to you every day for 1 hour. Listen, if you missed any one of these, we're leaving these videos up. They'll be up all day today. If you're going to binge watch something, you should binge watch these last 7 days. I'm telling you, it's going to help you. We're going to take these down. So go binge watch these, get these in your spirit, get these in your mind. And if you have a desire, a fish desires to swim because God made it to swim. Bird desires to fly because it was designed by God to fly. If you desire, there's something in you. I want to speak. I want to write a book. I want to coach. I love to consult. I want to make a difference in other people's life. If that's a desire in you, it's a sign. It's a sign. You ain't got to pray about it. It's a sign. God's showing you. He's awakening your heart. This is what you're called to do. That happened to me. Nearly 32 years ago, I was sitting in a church service. My girlfriend, who's now my wife, Bonnie, took me to. And I heard a guy speak. And all I was used to was like Catholic churches, Lutheran churches. And I heard this guy speak in a motivational way, an inspiring way. And I sat there and I thought, I'd love to do that. It's like, where did that come from? At that point, I couldn't even read and write. Hardly. Never read a book from cover to cover my entire life. What happened to me in that moment? God designed me for this. And all of a sudden, desire came to the surface. Ooh. Where'd that come from? Was I ready? No, I asked my girlfriend. No. I wasn't even saved. But that does not change the calling. This is a call. And Jonah, stop running. Stop running. That night, I gave my heart to God. And I said, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go to Bible college. 3 weeks later, I was in Bible college learning because I accepted the call, stop running. I knew I needed to learn. That's what 83K Academy is about. You ain't got to go to Bible college. We can get you ready in 6 weeks. I can mentor you to find that one word, to build your brand, and to start getting out there, making a difference, letting God use you in a big way. I hope you sign up for 83K. Apply. We got people coming in like crazy, but we're still out here. We still want to make sure we're looking for diamonds in the rough. I'm looking for and doing my best to inspire those of you in this season of my life who are up in the stands cheering on the football team when you should be down in the game. Let's get in the game. All right? 83kacademy.com/apply now. I hope you enjoyed this week. If you have, post yes down below. And do us a favor, would you please? We ask you at the beginning when you signed up, post a video. for us on how this one word boot camp has inspired you, touched your life, changed your life. It'll mean the world to us. Godspeed, God bless, and thank you, Janine, for serving the 7 days. You've done a great job. Couldn't be prouder of you. God bless everybody. We'll see you. Have a happy Sunday. Godspeed.